Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Get the Chirp. I just want to get on here today and just update you guys about my past couple weeks, like what I've been doing, what I plan on doing, and stuff like that. I did have a podcast planned out with some friends that were up from Central Florida, including my best friend Trey, but it kind of fell through. We're all kind of busy, and they were seeing their family and stuff, so I didn't really try to stress it too much. But over the last 2 weeks, I have completed school, and I'm now a certified bodybuilding coach, which is good for me because that's like one of the things that I've always wanted to do was like be a bodybuilding coach and improve myself, but also other people. And speaking of that, I don't know if you guys knew or talked about it last podcast or whatever, but I did quit my job at the rehab center as a CNA, and not gonna lie, I thought that was crazy as I don't know what, just, quitting my job. It was obviously night shift, but I had nothing after that. Like when I quit my job, obviously had no job to fall back on. So honestly, I just finished school. So that was a good thing about it. But then since I have my LLCs, and I have all the other certifications that I was doing, now I'm self-employed and I'm just training people at the gym. And come June 19th, I'm going to start training a lot more people. And that'll be good for me because growing up, especially when I was in like high school and stuff, everybody always asks you like, hey, what's your career path? Like, what are you going to do? What are you going to go to college for? And I always thought about nursing because like my family's nurses and, in the healthcare field, CNAs. And that's part of the reason I became a CNA in high school. But that just wasn't for me. I went to Chipola, did some prerequisites, and I went to basic training for the National Guard and came back, and then I moved down south, Central Florida to Lakeland, and that's when I started really like hitting the gym and honestly finding myself in a way and really proving to myself that if you put the work in, you can be better. You might see people that are just like 10 years in the gym, 7 years in the gym, and I was comparing myself to them, and I was like, man, I'll never get there. And then like I continuously put in the work. I'd be there every morning. I'd wake up early, be there every morning before I went to my actual job at the moving company. And then like when I got off, if it wasn't like a long day, because sometimes working for the moving company, you'd work all day, sometimes 17 hours in the OG days. The fellow hunks know what I'm talking about, but I would always, like, I've never been one to always just like want to work for somebody, as I'm sure a lot of people, but like me, I put it into like work. I put in that extra work. I got up early and would work on myself before I went to work. And on the days that I didn't hit the gym in the morning, I would really feel like a piece of shit, to be honest. Like, if I wasn't working on myself and I was just working for other people, it just didn't sit right with me internally, and I just couldn't have it. So I'd go to the gym in the mornings and stuff before work, then I would go work hard every day, moving furniture, driving the truck, being a captain, leading the other crew, to do the right stuff, strap stuff in the truck, get the boxes, wrap the furniture. And then when I got off, once I started my personal training course, I would study for it, maybe a chapter or two here and there when I had the time, or, take a quiz and just study. And I didn't really think, at that time, just starting out, that it would, take me to where I am now, with all the success that I've had, but you never know until you do it. And the more work that you put in, the more you'll get out of it. So if you really commit yourself to the process, to the journey that you want to, pursue, you can do it. I've had a lot of people at first, bash me when I first started out when I was smaller. You just got to take it, and just move on. Use it as some motivation to keep you going on the days when you need that motivation. But I'm telling you guys right now, I'm not saying motivation is like bullcrap, because like I get motivated when I hear motivational speeches and stuff like that. But like, you really have to be disciplined. Like, you really have to want what you say you do, because if you want something, you definitely have to work for it. I've never been one that's just been given anything besides this house when my grandmother passed away. And her doing that really put me in a good position. You know, at first I really didn't want to stay here because she literally died in the living room in front of my eyes, and it was just sad. It's also my birthday, but after a while I started taking that as a sign because my grandma loved me unconditionally. She showed me true love. No matter what, she always believed in me. She was always that person. So I've taken everything that I've learned from her, you know, everything that she taught me, and I'm using it into what I'm doing. Like, I'm not a bad person. I'm not a dickhead. I've always just been one of those people that love everybody, that want to help everybody. And I didn't ever really know how I could help somebody because I was always a small, shy, insecure kid. But through fitness, I see that I can do that I can have, you know, that positive impact on people that I always wanted to have. And I always thought like I had to be like a nurse and, you know, patch up wounds and save people's lives and yada yada. But it's fitness. Like, that's really my passion. I feel like this is my purpose. And like I said, I really want to get people on the podcast so I can start like learning more about them, you know, really getting information to become better overall, you know, just be open-minded and just taking everything that I can, because you always have to learn, you always have to grow. You're going to get stuck, complacent, stuff like that. But I just want to talk to you guys about like my plans in the coming future right now. So like I said, June 19th, I start training people. But what's huge for me is somebody trusts me enough. Now, I'm a new bodybuilding coach, and obviously I've been training for 4 years. But they trust me in training them from June 19th for 12 months straight to get them stage ready to compete in their first show. And at first I was kind of nervous. I was like, wow. So I did a lot of reflecting, and I was like, man, listen, this is me talking to myself. I was like, you've always been that shy kid, that insecure kid, you know, that was always scared to take that extra step. And that's just the truth that I always was. Like, I was always scared about what people was gonna say. I had bad anxiety. I still do a little. I just let stuff get to me mentally, and it just holds me back. So that's what I said. I've been putting myself in uncomfortable situations in order to grow and go further. But I think that starting June 19th, I'm going to reset and start from the ground up with him, working on our weaknesses, his individual weaknesses first, along with mine. We'll be in the same period of training at the same time. I'll help him do his, and he can spot me and help me do mine if I need a spot. And then we'll move into like a bulking phase for a few weeks, probably 6 to 8, maybe 10, depending on how much or what we're trying to get. And then we'll do like a cutting phase, or, you know, we're just gonna go along with it. Might have to do two bulks in this time because we have 12 months, but that might seem like a lot of time, but like, you gotta be dialed in, you gotta be committed, because these other guys that are coming to compete, they're ready. That's what they do. You know, a lot of them are there to really do that full time. So I'm not coming in, you know, just trying to, you know, be satisfactory or just like, oh, I trained my first client to compete on stage. No, I'm coming to make a statement. Like, my first show, I'm coming to make a statement for me. My first show for my client, we're gonna make a statement. And I just wanna see how I like it, because it's always been on my bucket list to compete. It's gonna be in the NPC, because they have like IFBB, but we're just gonna do like an amateur open show, probably NPC. I think there's one in June of next year in Miami, so that'll be like perfect time. But it also helps because, like, if me and him are training to compete on stage together and I'm still a coach, it also helps me because now I have somebody to keep me accountable. You know, I've always been training kind of solo lately. You know, I have a couple friends here every now and then, but primarily I train alone. And, you know, some days you don't really have like that drive, that motivation, that discipline to like want to do it. But I don't know, I've been going so much, it's just in me. Like, I show up and show out no matter what. You might see it on my face that I don't want to be there, but I'm still going through it just as hard as I would if I was happy. But you always have days like that. But I'm just excited to finally be able to pursue something that I want to do. Along with the podcast and stuff, it's really feels like it's unreal right now. Like today is May 31st, so tomorrow's June 1st, and it's like June 19th. Come that day, I'm training people full time, working for myself, my own company. Right now, I'm training at somebody else's gym, but like I'm in the process of working on a business plan to build like a pole barn type gym, because I have some land in the back, but there's like a big tree dead in the middle, but like it has like electric lines already up and like a septic tank, stuff that would cost me extra is already there because there used to be like a house there. So I'm very excited to be able to like work on that over time. I might not have it built, early next year, but hopefully by the middle or the end of next year, I should have it up and going. But if not, we can always carry on. I'm not really getting too stuck on, timelines and stuff like that. Like I'm really enjoying what I'm doing right now. And it's just like, it's so fulfilling to me because I really, like I said, I would come in the mornings and work out. I would go in the afternoon sometimes, do 2-a-days. I would study. And I did all this stuff and put in all this work, and I was down on myself. Like, I don't know why, but then like I started reflecting back, and it kind of built my confidence up in a good way, because now like I know for a fact I put in the work myself. Nobody did it for me. I did that. I studied. I passed these classes. I have friends that are taking the training course and they're not really committed to it, so they haven't really done it. And I've already completed five courses. I'm an elite trainer now. So my goal with that is I'll probably sometime the rest of this year take the last course, which is nutrition. And then I'll be a legit master trainer, like top of the line trainer. And that's really good and all, but I don't really like being a master trainer is good because I will know more and I can help you more. It's not like a cocky, like, oh, I'm a master trainer, like I'm the best, because I'll never be the best, and I know that. But I just want to be a better me and also be able to pour into you and make you better. That's literally all I want to do. So I quit my job and now I'm working for myself. I'm basically going to take these next 2 weeks off from the gym so my body can like recover and not be just lifting all the time, so I can start fresh. Got my first show coming up, first client. It's a blessing. Like it's truly a blessing. I feel like I'm living a dream right now. Like I said, it just feels so unreal. Like I know for a fact like I put in the work, but just to see it come into life with all the bad things that were happening, and like I just couldn't see it at the time, but like God really pulls through. Like I've been praying over everything from the start, a lot more recently. Like I started really diving in to getting better in like all aspects of my life, literally financially, emotionally, mentally. I'm taking mental therapy, because I was always focused on the physical aspect, obviously, which kind of helped with the mental, but like mental therapy really opened my eyes to it. I thought about it negatively at first, but like I enjoy seeing my counselor. Like sometimes I go in there smiling and stuff. Like it's not like you're just sitting back in a chair laid back and they're just like talking to you or just listening and they're just quiet. Like she really be like hyping me up and telling me stuff, and she'll call me out when I'm doing something bad, but you need that. You can't just have somebody that's just telling you doing good. But also I see a lot of things recently that hold people back is just admitting that you have a problem. I know a lot of my friends have issues. We all have issues. I have my own issues. But you're not going to get better or progress in life with those issues unless you just admit that you got them. Like I low-key had slight anger problems because I would just have my emotions build up, and I wouldn't snap, all the time, but like every few months or something, I would just snap for like 5 minutes, and it'd be at the worst times. And I just realized like I needed to get help and to really evaluate my life, because I don't want to be, that person. I used to try to be like this perfect guy, but then I realized that's not a thing. Like you're never going to be perfect. I just want to be better. And I don't want to just jump from like here to here. Like a lot of people just want to, make it. I want to literally take each step and learn and learn that, because that's really what's helped me, and it's really taught me through my life and how I went through it, that if you work continuously every single day, you might not see progress for a while, but then that one day you're like, wow, like I did this and this is the outcome. You just got to be very disciplined and just focus on delayed gratification, like not that instant gratification like social media. You got to sacrifice what you want now for what you want later in life. Like I cut out, like I don't party, I don't really go out. I'm literally in here grinding, working on something in the gym, or just like eating, working on my nutrition, drinking my shakes, or just relaxing, because your body has to recover from your workout, so you're not going to get anything from it. It's really like 10 or 15% of bodybuilding is working out. The rest is recovering, nutrition, stuff like that. It's just something to keep in mind, because I know a lot of people, especially nowadays, just want to, just make it. And there's nothing wrong with that, but you also got to realize you got to put in the work, or you're never going to get what you want. But yeah, I just want to hop on here and just explain to you guys, kind of what's going on right now. I know this is kind of like a shorter podcast, but I'm going to be leaving for a couple weeks because I got some training. I know we're not really supposed to say stuff like that. I'm not to give you a location, but like my house is going to be watched every single day. They're going to be here watching it, taking care of it while I'm gone, watering my plants and stuff like that, keeping it clean. So I'm not worried about somebody robbing me, and I got cameras, so if you do rob, you busted already. But I hope you guys have a great week, a great 2 to 3 weeks actually, because I don't know when I'll be able to do another pod. It'll probably be after the 19th. But then you guys can hear all about how training went, how prep's going, everything. I'm literally just trying to just hold the excitement in. Like I'm really just so excited. I just got out the ice bath. My feet are still cold. That's why I got on these slides. But yeah, even taking those ice baths helps me recover, and kind of pushes the inflammation out of your veins and stuff, your muscles, and you're not as sore. So like I'm trying a lot of different stuff so I can be better, but you just got to be disciplined and be willing to put yourself in those uncomfortable situations. But yeah, I'll talk to you guys later.